Hello. Globalization, Lifelong Learning, and the Learning Society is a book by Peter Jarvis. Have you ever wondered who is really getting the best end of the deal when you're doing job training? Peter Jarvis is an internationally renowned expert in the field of adult learning. From a sociological perspective, Professor Jarvis analyzes globalization of lifelong learning and the learning society in three parts: the knowledge economy, a critique of these processes, and the changing nature of the researches in learning society. Jarvis's intent is to help us understand the social context where our learning occurs. England's Industrial Revolution is part of what triggered technological production. Mass commercial communication and technological advancement coincided with World War II, 1939 to 45, and lifelong learning is an individual necessity for all people, and in the workplace, going unchecked, this can easily lead to conformity. After the Berlin Wall collapsed in 1989, the U.S. became a superpower. A superpower of capitalist system viewing the world as a market. The prevalence of information technology realigned time and space in a contemporary society as we know it. According to Beck, globalization is the process of sovereign national states crisscrossed and undermined by transnational actors with varying prospects of power, orientations, identities, and networks. Globalization can be understood as a socio-technological phenomenon having profound political and cultural implications. This figure represents a culmination of society's hierarchical, technological, economic core substructures of power stemming from the core to the periphery. According to UNESCO, the downward arrows represent the relationship of power among 203 countries, whereas the upward pointing arrows depict the resistance to the forces of globalization. These substructures propagate hegemonic control, such as the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund. The core controls it. It controls the IT advancement and production, that of the global market, a transnational civil society. The national concept and the learning concept is learning for the purpose of improving knowledge, skills, and competencies within a personal, civic, social, and/or employment-related perspective, according to the European Commission. Learning is an existential phenomenon. For instance, learning is lifelong because it occurs when we are conscious. Learning is also individualistic since it is existential. Lifelong learning that transcends schooling leads to recurrent education. It also includes formal, non-formal, and informal learning. In contrast, society dictates that learning is mandatory to ensure he or she is employable, and this is even instilled in the education system. Regarding life-world learning, to reference learning in adulthood, life world is the informal, everyday interaction and is based on money and power via corporations, government, and education. These systems oppress. From sources as workplace learning that has disempowered adults in the life worlds. The vocational setting overlaps with a non-vocational one. Learning society enables and encourages people to learn. What is utopia? Jarvis says that utopia is a dream, something to be worked for, helping people learn so that they can grow and develop and help change the world. The culture of learning society produces changes in behavior, but it is not society which is learning. It is the changing structures and situations within which cause us all to learn. Regarding lifelong learning, Learning is affected by the social structures of society. Globalization has exerted pressures on the structures for change. The social situation of competition, innovations, and rapid change generated in a knowledge economy and has led to an emerging lifelong learning. Lifelong learning is driving force in human living by which we become ourselves. It is a stimulus enriching our lives and making us truly human. On the other hand, the learning market is driven for the provider's profit, not for the learner to benefit from. Employees become imprisoned in a global classroom, expected to take continuing education courses, often at their own expense, stated by EDUC and Verne. According to a study by Hewison on employees' perspectives on employment training, 10% reported that the course was, quote, causing serious detrimental effects to their home and personal lives, and the majority reported the course was a strain. For knowledge workers, learning is an extension of work. Regarding work and learning in the workplace, educational organizations are being forced to adapt to global capitalists' learning market. America created a new division of adult education known as Human Resource Development, reflecting the advanced capitalist and covert power it exercises over people. Now people are, quote, indispensable resources to be developed for the sake of the organization. The cycle of production demonstrates how capital works. Capital and knowledge are put in the production process in a continuous loop. Jarvis believes that humanity is divided between the haves and the have-nots, and that we need a learning society, the personal fulfillment and employability. In our lifelong learning, we need to question the future of humanity and know this is more important than corporate profits. A more humanistic understanding of learning conceptually. The learning society is utopian, and utopian thinking supports that people matter more than profit, or, in Kant's words, people are ends, not means. My rhetorical analysis is that Jarvis makes some valid points that can spark curiosity and create cognitive thinking, and also about the employers and how they can be exploitive, bringing ultimate profit to the corporation off the backs of the poor. Consequently, this form of adult training has a hidden secret agenda, and it's one-sided, when it gives the impression that the work training is for the benefit of all. Jarvis provides adult learners insight with how to look at manipulative methods perpetrated by big business that indirectly take advantage of workers under the guise of adult learning. The problem with Jarvis's methodology is that it sounds biased because of his sweeping blanket statements and these claims that are not backed up with specific credible evidence. There are too few examples, in other words, to substantiate his theories. This creates a lack of credibility and doubt, and it's almost as if Jarvis has a secret agenda. Although I do concede that there is validity to certain points he makes, and if they were applied to claims such as sweatshops in developing countries, for instance, he would have a stronger case. Despite his conjecture and subjective approach, I liked the book because it really makes you think deeper about the possible exploitive methods in the workplace. Thank you.